Hey folks, this is Dre, Recovery One Drones coming to you again. I put out a video over the weekend concerning some use of LAANC authorization, and I want to give you a little more backstory behind how I was able to gather the information so I knew I would need additional authorization from the FAA to fly a mission that I was assigned. So what I'm going to do right now is take you through the steps of using the DJI Flysafe website, and it can help you avoid the frustrations that occurs when you're out in the field by doing a little homework before you get out in the field. So I always say, hang on, enjoy the ride. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button because I'm about to drop a little information on you. This might be a little dry, a little drawn out, but I think this is essential for a lot of flyers out there to help them have a more fun time out there if you're a hobbyist. And if you're a commercial user, this is should be part of your workflow. So it'll help you out no matter what your status is out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip over to this page here, share the screen with you. Okay. By sharing this screen here, I'm showing you the DJI Flysafe right here. It's a website you can get to. It's fly-safe.dji.com/home. Bring you to this page. Okay. It gives you a nice explanation right up front. DJI is committed to helping pilots unleash their aerial creativity safely and responsibly. In keeping with that commitment, we are offering this page filled with the latest tips, regulatory links, and instructional videos. You can also learn about DJI Geo system, along with its flight restriction zones and all new unlocking systems. While we made every effort to provide comprehensive information, this page is not a substitute for pilots' ability to exercise good judgment. As a DJI pilot, you are solely responsible for ensuring your flights and conducted safely in accordance with local laws and regulations. Okay, they put the disclaimer right up in the front. And the big key sentence I should say here, you as the pilot are solely responsible. Okay, that's key. So we're going to scroll up here a little bit. Already got the geo zone information in place here, United States, and we're going to hit search. Okay, forgive me for my slow computer. The first map comes up, it always comes up Washington, D.C. Don't know why, but that's what it is. This is where you may need to know what your local airport designator is to help you search. We're going to go with one of my area, which is Ontario, which is better known as ONT. It can give you a couple of examples here. You scroll down, and it will eventually get to, oh, excuse me, let me go back. Okay, Ontario can't, they don't want to do it. So we're going to go ahead and put the full designation in there and see if it comes up. There it is right there, Ontario International Airport. Okay, this was the area I was flying in the other day. And this is why I was able to tell the client in advance of what needed to be done because, like I say, when I talk to a client, I asked them about two things: accessibility to the location and the airspace of the location. And as I said in my other video, even though they told me it was 400 feet, shouldn't be a problem, you can't always take their word as gospel. This is, like I say, part of you doing your homework. So this is what I do. I come here to the GeoZone map and I come in and I zoom into where I would be flying at, okay, which is this area right here is where I'd be flying, okay. So we'll pull it back out again. So you bring in the zones right there. I'm gonna still pull it out, and what do you see? At the top part of the map, you're going to see the Ontario airspace there, and then down at the bottom left corner of the map, you see the Chino airspace. And this is where you see the extended bow tie that I talk about. That runway that goes northeast direction is the bow tie. Now, I haven't changed my point to where I'd be flying at. So I'm going to click on that to where my flight plan would be at. And you see the information that comes up. I'm going to scroll down to it. Let me pull back out. There we go. Now, must not be the exact spot. They give me a lot of them. They got different airports. Ontario, altitude limit 500, Chino 500, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna go back in. There it is at the top. Off that runway, Chino altitude zones, 60, and these are all in meters, 60 meters. So you got to do a little conversion. Most all this information is in meters. So it says 60 meters, that's roughly about 200 feet. So that's why I knew then I was going to have an issue flying that area, because the client needed me to fly at 400 feet for their mapping purposes. So that's when I contacted them and says, hey, we have overlapping airspace here, and Chino is not going to let me do what I want to do because they have overlapping airspace in that area, right in that bow tie right there. So that let me know right at the front that I need to submit to the FAA different information to unlock, so I can submit an unlock to DJI for the airspace right in that bow tie area right there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut back for a second here, stop sharing this, come back to me. So the next thing we're going to do is talk about the process of creating a unlock. Okay, we're going to go through step by step so people can know how easy it is and some of the mistakes that you can make and that it cause you to get a denial or not authorized, whatever the terminology they use. Because I do it sometimes, it's because I put information in a different manner. Because you got to realize you're still talking to people or to a system that's in a foreign country. So sometimes the way they accept information is kind of backwards than what we do here in the US. And this is primarily for those of us who live in the US that has this set up zone area. Even though these zones are worldwide, anywhere you want to go, this is basically for those who fly in the US, because this is where I fly. Okay, I'm going to go to the next page here. Let's switch over. And we're going to talk about setting yourself up device management. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share this screen with you right quick. Right there. Okay. Here we go. Now, this is something that would be beneficial for even if you're a hobbyist. I would say if you're a commercial operator like myself, this is almost mandatory as far as your workflow to make it easier. As you see here in this list that I have here, you will see the different aircraft, the serial numbers, the name on the aircraft, the model of the aircraft. Phantom 4, RTK, DJI Mavic 3E, 3T, 3M, my M30T, Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, Mavic 2, Phantom 4 Pro, Phantom 4 Advanced, another Mavic 2, another Phantom 4, even my Spark is in this list. Okay, and on the next page, I have a Phantom 3 Pro over there. So this makes it easier that when you want to apply for a unlock, or whatever the case may be, unlock a zone or a custom unlock, all your drones are already listed. And this is for you to add to your your device management, I should say, whatever listed under, that your drones are already there. So that way you don't have to go back and pull up the serial numbers and everything else. You enter him individually when you get the drone registered. You knock it out of the way, it's done. It's in there and it's done. Okay. Pilot management, like me, I'm the sole pilot. That's all we got to do right there. If you're a company, You may have multiple names in here of what pilot's going to be flying or authorized to fly in that unlocked situation with whatever drone you pick. Okay. So you got your device management, all your drones listed there. Once you have all that information, you go, you got there, unlock request. Okay. You can see some of the ones I have here listed. The one I just did recently in Chino, Ontario. And this is a custom job here. Even one I got rejected because I didn't put the information in correctly. Okay. And what usually happens is when you don't put the information correctly, you'll get a rejection or it may not be cleared enough for authorization. And when I say about not putting information correctly, when you enter the latitude and longitude, how we do it in the West is totally different how they do it over in Asia. Okay. They want the longitude first, then the latitude. Over here, we put the latitude, then the longitude. That is where I messed up on my request. Okay. Let's go hit the unlock request to sell. Boom. You read here, this is your unlocking, basically your disclaimer saying that you're still responsible for all things that happen during your flight in spite of this authorization. Okay. Then I ask you for a custom unlocking and a zone unlocking. All right. Now, we'll talk about zone unlocking up front. You can do a zone unlocking on your controller while you're out in the field. If you're going to fly basically under the grid allowances, say we're in a 200-foot grid, okay, because we can fly 200 feet and you just want to unlock the drone, you hit the sticks in, the little box pop flip on your thing, asking you, or you want to ask for authorization, you click on a little button says yes, boom, the next box that may pop up, it may or may not pop up, depends on what drone or what controller or even what app. I still use the Geo Go 4 app. I'm not sure what happens in the Fly app, but you should get a box either asking for your cell phone number. This is why I always say bring your cell phone with you in the field so they can send you the unlock code that goes on your controller. So you put that number in there, boom, 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 hit OK, and then they'll send you the unlock code on your phone. And then the next box will ask you to put in that, I think it's a five or six digit code and onto your device, display device, either be a smart controller type device, or it may be your display, phone, tablet, whatever you use to fly with. You enter that in, and boom, you have a quick zone unlocking to fly within the limits of that area. Okay. Now you have custom unlocking. Okay. This is mostly what I use as custom unlocking because a lot of times, I would say the majority of times, I am flying at or above, the designated grid area. So I do a custom unlocking. And what happens, the difference is like I said, the zone you can unlock a lot of times in the field when you're there on the spot. You can do it in advance also. They'll give you like a 3-day window that it'll start on this date and end maybe 2 or 3 days later. No problem. So when you show up, drone fires up, no big deal. Okay. Custom unlocking. Back to that again. Custom unlocking will ask for a little more different information. It will add for your GPS coordinates of where you're going to fly. You have to designate it either in a circle or a polygon design of the area that you want to fly in, going from there. And then along with adding what drone you're going to fly, who's going to fly it, and so on and so forth. And also ask for time of day, what time you plan on flying it from this time to that time. And usually you pick the whole day. That way you don't limit yourself. But the key thing at the bottom on the custom unlocking that they will ask for authorization document, which and here in the US, which is going to be that FAA authorization that you received. Now I'm going to pull up authorization that I have here from the FAA on my screen. I'm not sure if it's going to show up or not. Okay. If that is being on the share screen, I'm going to stop this one and I'm going to share this to make sure we have the right one up there. Okay. Here we go. Once again, authorization, certificate of authorization. Out of that Chino Airport, KCNO, boom, boom, boom. Gives you all that kind of stuff here. Puts the location, class airspace is D, yada, yada, yada. And this one covers me from October 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024. And this actually is a redo here because they screwed it up and put October 1st, 2023 and put the end date March 31st, 2023. So I had to call the FAA back and say, hey, you messed this up. And first they didn't want to admit. They said, no. I said, look at the date. I said, the dates are wrong. I can't fly backwards in time. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got it. So there it is there for that type of thing. And in the waiver, it will always have, things of what it may require you to do. And this one, contact information here, scheduled flights. And then it says right here, number D, for all operations within the KCNO Class D airspace, the operator must contact KCNO ATCT at the number right here, 15 minutes prior to the flight, and again when the operations is complete. That is the only time you are supposed to be calling the tower, if you are directed by the FAA to make that notification. Okay, so that is part of my requirements of using this authorization, that I call the tower, let them know I'm having UAS operations. I give them approximate location, either by street name or some type of significant other type of a landmark, the case may be. If you're flying out of facility, say, I'll be at the such and such facility here. We're going to start flying here. Boom. And I will call you back when we're done. And they will say, thank you very much. Okay. And I say they can even kink this, I should say, stop your operations, your clearance, if they have some type of emergency situations going on at the airfield that requires they have clear airspace for whatever reason that may take place. So this is what you need to submit to DJI, and then in turn they will unlock the drone for a custom unlock. Okay. So those are kind of like the back details of what I had to do to get the authorization for me to go out and take care of this flight. And it's very, very important and also vital that you follow the rules of your authorization. Because if something happens and the first thing they're going to ask is, well, did you have authorization? Yeah, I had it. And I said, what did it say? And like right there, said, if I didn't call in, and they had something going on where they need to clear their airspace, or a TFR was somehow administered at the last minute, my clearance is still going through. My clearance is still active. Okay. I still would have been able to fly even if a last minute TFR would have happened, but it would have been on me as a responsible pilot to say, I need to adhere to what the rules and regulations are. So if I would have called the tower and they say, hey, we just got a TFR that went into effect this morning and it will take place until maybe 3 or 4 hours. So if you want to come back after that and fly then, no problem. But if I fail to call and I go out there and just be like, la-di-da-da, fire up my drone and fly, and then I interfere with some flight operations, I would still be at fault. And that's why DJI puts those disclaimers up on a lot of their sites to say, hey, the pilot is still responsible for all local, federal regulations in their area. So in spite of getting a authorization, I'm still responsible to know what is going on in my area at all times. So I'm going to cut this off right now. This is Dre, Recovering Drones, just trying to share a little information with you. I hope this helps out somebody to not be intimidated about the process. That is not very hard to do. Just go ahead and do this, and it makes it easier the next time you do it, because most of your information is already there. Your name, phone number is already there. All your drone information is already there. So you just kind of like just check the boxes, make sure you're good to go. So this is Dre with Recover Drones. Fly safe and fly within the rules. Thank you. Bye-bye.